Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me on this morning's webinar. Wherever you might be in Australia, I appreciate you putting the time aside. My name's Joanne Aaron-Sibia. You may formally know me as Joanne Trolagan. I have been at AFTA for about 5.5 years, so it's not a new person, it's just a slightly changed name. I would like to make a few mentions for people on the line today. My colleague Belinda is also on the webinar. Belinda works with me very closely across all marketing elements, including the National Travel Industry Awards, and is a great support to me. And I know that she also works with many of you, helping you in your own marketing initiatives. A big shout out to Nicola Strudwick from Traveller's Choice, and also there's a range of other Traveller's Choice agents on the line, so thank you for joining. Tracy Brenner from Globonet Travel, thank you for joining. Andrew Morgan, I see you're online. I'm pretty sure we sat next to each other at a Cato luncheon once. We've got Bianca Hoffman, Sean Simmons, and some people from Kathy Rice Travel. So congratulations, Kathy Rice Travel, on your many nominations into the National Travel Industry Awards. Right, before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. Oh, and actually we've got Joe from JA Travel Solutions. Joe, thanks for saying hi. A little bit of housekeeping. Like most webinars, you're all in listen-only mode. So if you do have a question, feel free to put that into the question toolbox that you have on your screen, and I'll do my best to answer those questions at the end of the webinar. This webinar is being recorded, so we will put it up on the AFTA website within about 48 hours after today's webinar. And of course, my email address is there on the screen. So if you have any questions and would like to contact me directly, feel free to drop me a line or even pick up the call. I love being connected with our agents. I love knowing how we can support you and work with you better. At AFTA, we work incredibly hard for our members, but like most organisations, I believe that we can do a better job at really sharing with you exactly what we do. And so we thought that we would put this webinar together as an opportunity for you to hear just how hard we've been working for your benefit. And hopefully today will give you insight into ways that you can leverage the tools, the resources, and the initiatives available to you as members in order to maximise the value of your accreditation of ATAS in your business. Now, the first thing that I really just want to touch on quickly is the ATAS family of brands, because I often get asked the question, what's the difference between ATAS and AFTA, and then even the AFTA chargeback scheme? So let me just spend some time clarifying. AFTA is your representative body, and we have been around for 60+ years. We advocate on behalf of travel agents in Australia, and in fact, we often refer to AFTA as that mongrel brand because we roll out AFTA when we need to have a voice amongst government. 71% of AFTA's members turn over around 1 million to 5 million. So we have a really strong focus on addressing major issues relating to the operations of even small travel agency businesses in Australia at state and federal level. Often probably an element that it's an intangible benefit, so probably isn't as valued as some of the other things that we do, but it is tremendously important. Now, ATAS, this is an accreditation scheme and it's administered by AFTA. So AFTA is the governing body and ATAS is a scheme that we administer. It's not a separate entity. ATAS stands for the AFTA Travel Accreditation Scheme. And when ATAS was established back in 2013, we were very careful to include the word AFTA in the name of the scheme because AFTA gives the scheme credibility and relevance to the consumer. Now, ATAS is that consumer-facing brand. So when we talk to the Australian traveller, we don't use AFTA, we use ATAS. And I'm really pleased to say that ATAS is growing in recognition. 3 in 5 travellers will question a business's credibility if they don't see the ATAS logo associated with that business. So I'll just repeat that. 3 in 5 travellers will question a business's credibility if they can't see the ATAS logo associated with that business. And I'm going to share some of our consumer research with you shortly. Now, the last logo there that you can see is the AFTA chargeback scheme, or ATAS, and it was a scheme that started in 2017. It was designed and developed with the travel agent in mind because it provides innovative protection, and it's all about helping you protect your business now and into the future. And as the name suggests, the scheme provides protection against debit and credit card chargebacks, which we know has been a long-standing problem for our industry, and now we have a solution. So my question to you, if your business only accepts cash because you're wanting to avoid chargeback exposure, then how do you look after your consumer when the business goes insolvent and they've paid by cash? I can't stress enough. Become part of ATAS and you can accept debit and credit card chargebacks with peace of mind, knowing that if a supplier becomes insolvent, you can simply claim against the scheme. If it sounds too good to be true, it is, because we've really thought and put considerable masterminds around developing this initiative. So please talk to the AFTA team on how you can sign up for this scheme and get that peace of mind and get chargeback protection. All right, let's move on now and just look at some of our marketing. So last year we shifted our focus, and in fact we broadened our marketing approach. In addition to promoting ATAS and the reasons consumers that should always book with an industry accredited travel agency, we recognised that we really needed to do a category job and promote the value that travel agents provide consumers in travel booking and in that entire travel booking journey, I should say. So in order to deliver the most effective marketing activity, AFTA conducted both qualitative and quantitative research. The research findings have helped us to understand the consumer and ascertain the best approach moving forward. And we've used the insights to shape our strategy and our messaging. The chosen approach is one that will resonate best with the consumer and achieve the goal of reminding consumers that they can rely on travel agents to advise, to book, and to manage their travel. So early last year, we engaged a global and independent research agency to conduct our consumer research. And we charged the agency with the task of finding out 2 key things. The first one is, what motivates the traveller to use a travel agent? What are those key drivers? Because if we could understand the key drivers, we could use that in our messaging to help persuade non-travel agent users. And the second thing is that we wanted to understand, well, what is the current awareness and recognition of ATAS? And if with education, can we impact on a consumer's choice to use a travel agent? So in our quantitative survey, we had a pool of around 1,000 consumers to make it statistically significant. We researched only the overseas traveller because we know that the Australian and international traveller have different booking habits. And it must have been for personal travel only. We didn't accept respondents if they had done business travel. Previous travel or travel in the next 12 months was also a criteria, and there had to be decision makers. So there had to be the one that was actually booking the trip and not just the party to that booking. So on this next slide, we have a breakdown of our respondents. Now, I just want to stress that this isn't representative of national usage of travel agents, because here we've got our respondents, 37% used a travel agent and 63% didn't. We actually know that national usage of travel agents is around 83 to 85%. So this isn't indicative of national usage, but it is indicative of who answered our survey. And I've included this in here because it provides us with some really clear goals. So there is definitely an opportunity to maintain consumers who book their full travel experience with a travel agent. So you can see on this graph that 37% use a travel agent and 55% booked their full trip with a travel agent. Interestingly, only 45% of the respondents booked their trip with a travel agent. So that provides us with tremendous opportunities to upsell. And then right on the other side of the graph, for some reason, we can see that a consumer walked into a travel agent, 34% spoke to a travel agent, but for some reason they didn't book. So here's a really great opportunity to convert. Now the research provides us with a pretty motivating reason to upsell and convert those that only booked part of their trip or walked in but didn't book. And it's because 65% of consumers that booked their full trip with a travel agent said it made a major difference to their overall travel experience. And that was compared to 44% who only booked part of their trip. So in other words, those who booked full travel with a travel agent had an overall more satisfying experience. Now that's really important because this translates to repeat business. Travellers that use travel agents are loyal. 44% will use the same travel agent next time they book travel. So get them to book their whole experience with you. They'll have an overall more satisfying experience, and that translates to repeat business. We asked all survey respondents when they would be motivated to use a travel agent. And we asked travel agent users and non-travel agent users this question. And it's probably no surprise that the majority would use a travel agent for complex trips with multiple destinations, for that convenience, access to special deals and discounts. So probably the elements that aren't most surprising to us. The research also reveals that the benefits that travel agents do deliver fall into three really clear buckets. It's the protect me from the unexpected bucket. Now that isn't insurance at all. That is all about having peace of mind that someone is there 24/7 if the traveller needs assistance. The second bucket's all about convenience, about making it easy for me. And the third bucket's all about inspiring me with knowledge. It's about mitigating that FOMO, that fear of missing out. I'm traveling for a week with my family. I want to make sure I do see things in my limited time and for my budget. And so I'm going to go to a travel agent because they can give me those insights. So after we had these three key buckets that the benefits of using a travel agent fell into, we actually wanted to test the elements of each bucket. So we asked respondents to rate the most compelling benefits. And here on this slide, we summarise both travel agent users and non-users. What are the different elements that correlate or resonate most strongly with them? And as you can see, the most compelling are the functions of a travel agent that really help them plan, book and manage a consumer's travel. So I'll just give you a moment to have a read of that. And I will just say that these findings were extremely helpful because when we were designing our latest television commercial, we used these compelling reasons to book with a travel agent, and we fed this back to the consumer in our television messaging. So that's one part of the quantitative, sorry. And actually on our qualitative research, we used that to help form our quantitative research questions and make sure we were using our investment wisely and answering the most pointed questions to get the responses we needed from consumers. In our quantitative research, all respondents were asked if they had heard of an accreditation scheme for travel agents. 40% of respondents said that they'd heard of some sort of accreditation scheme, but actually had very little recall. 18% could state that the scheme's name was ATAS, so they were able to recall it, and that's unprompted recall. And then 10% could actually state what ATAS is. So they were able to feed back to us our own marketing messages and tell us that, yes, the scheme means that they're professional and legitimate businesses and that they meet industry standards. We then wanted to know if, with a better understanding of ATAS, did that understanding influence booking behaviour? So what we did is we showed them a logo and we also gave them a description of ATAS. So then, with an informed knowledge of ATAS, we asked them, well, how important is ATAS to you? And after being informed, yes, 60% said ATAS was relevant to their travel plans. 58% started to wonder where they'll book and doubting non-accredited agents and overseas booking sites. 82% said that next time they'll book, they'll make sure it's with an accredited travel agent. And probably the most disappointing for us as an organisation was that only 4% of our membership base are actively discussing ATAS with the consumer. We know that owners and managers are very aware of what ATAS is because they do the ATAS application, they're connected with us at conferences, they often hear Jason speak at conferences. But for some reason, we're not investing the time in educating our frontline staff how to articulate what ATAS is. So we encourage you in every conversation that your frontliners have with the consumers is to say, I'm pleased you're in here with me today. I'm an industry accredited travel agent, which means I've met the highest standards of professional services, and you can book with me with peace of mind. Or language to that effect, whatever works best for your messaging. So whilst 4% of our audience are talking about ATAS, our consumers actually told us that they want ATAS to be more strongly promoted. So they want your staff to be talking to them about ATAS and educating them. So just a bit of a summary around the research results. We all have an opportunity to maintain, to upsell, and even convert travel agent non-users. So convert those that walk into a travel agent but for some reason don't book. So we all have an opportunity. We now understand the compelling drivers to use a travel agent, and ATAS is one of them. ATAS can help a consumer choose your travel agency. 60% of travellers say ATAS is relevant to their travel plans. And 54% say they want ATAS to be more strongly talked about. And 82% of consumers will actively look for an accredited agent next time they book travel. So if you're not including it in your Facebook marketing, on your website, in your brochures, or any local store marketing initiatives that you're doing, then you're potentially missing out on sales. Well, what did we do with these results, and particularly the result that our travel agents weren't talking to their clients? Well, last year we undertook an industry-wide education campaign to help ATAS agents realise the full potential of the value of being accredited and look to increase awareness amongst travel consultants who need to talk about the scheme more often with their clients. So I don't know if all of you have seen this visual, but this was the campaign that we were in market with. It was probably around October, November last year. There is a video linked to this, and the video actually summarises the research results. Unfortunately, I'm not going to show it with you today because the webinar system doesn't accommodate videos very well and you won't get the full experience. But I will put the link to this video on the website so that you can click and link and watch it and really be across those research results. So AFTA is doing our bit to reach the consumer, but again, we really need your help. We invest every available marketing dollar that we have into educating the consumer, both on reasons to use a travel agent, but also making sure they book with an accredited travel agent. But our dollars will only go so far. You're all part of the ATAS ecosystem, and if we all had a voice with consumers, think of just how far the message will reach. Here's a snapshot of our consumer impact to date. We've reached over 6.5 million consumers across TV. Our digital impressions are well over 15 million now. We do regular cinema cooperative initiatives, and we've reached more than 1.4 million consumers, both metro and regionally. The most recent of our activities was last October when we undertook a 4-week television campaign, and we reached 1.97 million consumers. And as I said earlier, the television advertisement was developed off the back of our consumer research, and the messaging that we incorporated was what the travellers, your consumers, told us they wanted to hear. It was what they told us was most relevant to them, and we fed it back to them. And we have had some tremendous feedback from the campaign as to how impactful it was. I am going to attempt to play this now, but please also do jump onto the AFTA website next to where the webinar will be loaded and watch this again for the full experience.
You know, without Sarah's help, I couldn't organise such a complex itinerary. Think of the time she changes, researching visas, airport connections, hotels, transfers. Yeah, so that's the work on that side. This trip is going to be perfect. Travel agents, experience you can trust.
So apologies firstly if you watched that with a little bit of a delay. That's just one of the technical limitations of a webinar. But again, it's going to be on the website, so feel free to jump on and actually watch it so that you do get the full experience. I just wanted to highlight that the tagline from our consumer research that resonated best with the consumer was travel agents experience you can trust. It's a very positive, forward-thinking message, and I've actually even received some really great feedback from agents. So I hope that you also like it and that you'll choose to embrace it in your own messaging. Well, we're absolutely here to help, and this slide is just a splattering of ways that on a daily basis we work with accredited agents. And if we're not talking to you yet, then we really want to be talking with you and supporting you. So we create customized Facebook tiles, flyers, holiday checklists that can be inserted into itineraries, just a fun way of, again, pushing that ATAS message, but also giving the consumer something useful. We do printed collateral, digital assets. We support agents across cinema. And I'm just going to touch on this cinema campaign now because we're actually in market asking if anybody is interested in doing a cooperative cinema campaign for the June-July school holiday period. There are some great blockbuster movie releases coming out. We go to Balmorgan and negotiate 60% off the rate card for our agents, which gives you about 16 cents per view. So to reach 15,000 consumers in your local cinema, you're looking at around $2,400 for a local store marketing campaign. It's extremely cost effective. And what we give you is that ATAS TVC, that's 30 seconds worth. We then give you an additional 5 seconds. So we slice the end frame with your local call to action. So in fact, you get a 35-second time slot in cinema. And you get an AFTA account manager as well. So you don't need to do any of the hard work. We'll do that for you. You simply give us the details that you want to be in the cinema ad and your logo. We have our professional agency create that for you, and we coordinate that with Val Morgan all on your behalf. There are 2,000 cinemas across Australia, both regionally and in metro areas. And you can pick which cinema is closest to your store and is most relevant for you. So Belinda Herbert is talking to agents now who are booking in spots, and it's first in, first served. So if you're interested in this initiative, please give us a call at AFTA or drop us an email. Belinda's is just as easy as my email. It's belinda@afta.com.au. But it is an initiative that we do for you. The next thing I'd like to touch on is the People's Choice campaign. This campaign is in its 4th year, and it continues to get more and more consumer involvement each year. It may seem a little complicated on the surface, but let me explain how it works. The campaign has 2 elements. The first element is the National Travel Industry Awards. At the National Travel Industry Awards, we celebrate the Travel Agency of the Year. Now, that Travel Agency of the Year is determined by consumer vote. And the way that the consumers vote is through International Traveller and Australian Traveller magazines or their online websites. So we're partnered with Australian Traveller and International Traveller magazines to help deliver the campaign, because they have over 100,000 consumers subscribed to their brands. So it's a really great way to get the message out. So what we have done is created a whole range of assets that we will give you as our accredited agent to help promote your business and rally consumer votes. So you might, I've got some examples here. This is a Facebook tile on the right-hand side. You could put this on your website and say, vote for us now. And in return for their vote, we've done something wonderful for the consumers, which makes you guys look fantastic. We have worked with APT, our prize partner, who has generously put together an 11-day Kimberley Coast cruise for 2 people valued at $23,500. So by your consumers voting, they will go in the draw to win this fantastic prize. And at the same time, you count up your votes, and if you get the most votes, then you'll become Australia's favourite travel agency and be awarded at the National Travel Industry Awards. So it's a really fun campaign. It's a way to celebrate travel agents. It's a way to get out the fact that you're ATAS. It's a way that AFTA promotes the ATAS brand to consumers and partner with consumer media. This year we've also partnered with the Sydney Morning Herald and Fairfax Traveller, who are also pushing the message. They've got a huge audience. So within a month of this campaign opening up, we already had close to 5,000 consumer votes. So this year we're wanting to get 20,000 consumer votes, and we're well on our way to doing that. You have until the end of May to rally votes, so it's not too late. If you haven't started the campaign, can I encourage you to get involved, and we will give you a range of assets to help get consumers voting for you. It's a bit complicated, but I hope that that explanation has helped clarify how this campaign works. And a big shout out to APT as being our prize partner again for this year. I now just want to show you a whole range of customised assets that some of our ATAS accredited travel agencies have used. And this just might get your creative juices flowing on what you might like for your business. Here's a couple more. There's some Facebook posts. Flybys Travel have included the ATAS logo in their online video, which you can see there in the middle on the right, and some more Facebook tiles. I really like this particular one. This brand has created 2 different Facebook tiles, both with the ATAS messaging, but changing the image and the wording to appeal to their different customer groups. All right, the ATAS website. Last year, we did some major technological changes to how the ATAS brand, our ATAS agencies were appearing on the ATAS website. When we first launched, everyone had to go in and create their own profile, and we realized that not everybody was doing that, and it was adding another step or a lot more workload for you guys. So we removed that, and now all the ATAS retail listings or online listings are coming directly from MemNet, which is our member database. So if it says you're an active ATAS member in our member database, you'll automatically be shown on the ATAS website. What you can do, however, is go in and customize some details so that when a consumer searches for a business that's relevant to them, for example, say they want to go to Africa, using the advanced search option, they can actually pick that they want to find an agent that specializes in Africa. So our agent, you guys, can manage your profile all from your My AFTA area. You can go in and select what you specialize in, both destinations or holiday types. So when they click the advanced search, here are some more options that come up. And these are all linked to what you have stipulated your business specializes in the back end. So if you haven't done that, I do encourage you to go in and enhance your profile in the My AFTA back end. I can't tell you how many calls we as a team get every single day wanting to check that their travel agent is accredited. So please enhance your profile, use ATAS in your marketing, and give that consumer reassurance. Also on our website is a blog section. We write a new blog every single month, and this is based on our search engine optimization strategy, and it makes sure that we write a blog around what consumers are most often searching so that our website appears and attracts consumers to it. To make our blogs interesting, we want the blogs to be all about you guys. We want to hero and showcase what you're doing, what fantastic ways you've helped the consumer. I want to give you an example. On the bottom left, you can see student travel. We asked an expert to share his top tips. So for this particular blog, we went and spoke to Sean Baldwin from SCA Travel, and he provided some top tips for student travel. So if you went into the blog and actually read it, in this case, Sean becomes the hero of the blog. And if you'd like to become the hero of your own blog, then let us know, because our copywriter is always looking for voice grabs and quotes and ideas from our agents. And then the very last thing that I wanted to touch on was our Facebook closed group. We started this probably third or fourth quarter of last year because we know our members spend a lot of time on Facebook, and we thought it was another way to share some of the initiatives that AFTA is doing. So if you haven't subscribed to the Australian Federation of Travel Agents closed group, please do. When you go on, it'll ask you a range of questions like, are you a member of AFTA and what's your agency? So we can validate you because we only want accredited members part of this network. And it's within here that we'll share the latest tips, tricks and updates. So it's a great way to stay connected with us. That's all I had for you this morning. So I wanted to touch on the difference between the ATAS brands. I covered off the latest results from our consumer research and what that means for you as an agency. And it clearly tells us that consumers want you to be talking about ATAS more often. I shared some of the marketing activities that we were doing. And then lastly, I finished on different ways that you can work with us. So if you're working with us and talking with us regularly, fantastic. If you're not, we are here. We are wanting to work with you, and I just can't encourage that enough. So I think, let's have a look. I've got a bit of time for questions. So if anybody would like me to answer some questions, please feel free to put it in the question toolbox. And I'm just going to look back at some of the questions that came in throughout the webinar. I did have a question on the chargeback scheme. And I wanted to clarify that the chargeback that you're covered for is for any end supplier insolvency, and that's worldwide, unless they are on the exclusion list. And if they're on the exclusion list, then I wouldn't book with them because we've put them on that list for a reason. So if you're, it covers hotels, tour operators, hotels, any end supplier, cruise, air, land suppliers, anybody that's a third party that becomes insolvent that you've passed your money to, it'll cover. I just had a note from Nicola Strudwick from Travel's Choice, who said we're 100% ATAS accredited across our entire member network and include all our marketing activity with great results. So thank you for sharing that, Nicola. Sam, contact us in the office and we will customise Facebook tiles for you. We'll get a copy of your logo and any phone or website that you want to put on that, and we'll actually design that Facebook tile for you and give that to you. So contact us in the office. Anybody else got any questions? Again, this webinar has been recorded, so give us 48 hours and it will be up on the AFTA website, and I'll include links to the videos that I showed today. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up there. I have no questions, but we are very approachable in the AFTA office. So please, we want to be able to put voices to emails and voices to ATAS accredited numbers. So if we haven't spoken to you, please do reach out. We love all of our agents. We love everybody that subscribes to the ATAS accreditation scheme, because you're doing our industry proud and you're part of that ecosystem of reputable, trusted and professional travel agents. So, all right, guys, thank you so much and look forward to working with you throughout the rest of 2019. Thanks so much.